we're just getting started now. That was the weirdest setup ever. I don't know what changed, but yeah, I think we're all right now. There we go. So yeah, that definitely needs a wipe as well, actually. I'm going to get the stove started. I'll wait for you guys to come in, I guess. Hui. Just give it a quick. I apologise. There we go. Sorted. We will get a little bit of fire started, because we like a bit of fire. It's also a bit cooler tonight. Says the man wearing a short sleeve shirt, but still, it's not that bad now. It's more about later on. It's going to get much colder tonight than it has been recently. So we want a bit of latent heat in the van so it stays warm for later. Some nice pieces I picked up from the really good place in Stockfold just recently. Yeah, really good. It should last a long time. Right. Oh, looks like we have somebody in. Hey, Emmy. Hi, Emmy. Good to see you. Looks like it's just you and me for now, although we might have somebody else in. But you've retracted your message already. Oh dear. But I see Emmy's in. Lovely to see you, Emmy. Hope you're well. Who else we got in? Do we have any family members in yet? Yeah, it's a slightly late one, but it's not the latest I've ever done. We have a hi from whoa, that's Poyraz Al Yaman. I'm going to go with Yaman. Yaman is quite a cool thing to say, so we'll go with Yaman. Nice to have you here. Are you accidentally retracted? Fair enough. Oh, I just seen I've got the translation thing on. Let's get that off. We hate that thing. Ooh, oh, that looks good, doesn't it? The nice flames going. There we go. Oh, I must turn on the pump. I just nearly forgot. There we go. We don't strictly need the fire on today, but it is going to get colder later, well, in the wee hours of the morning. So if we get it a little bit warmer now, it'll be not quite so cold then. Lots of love from the Isle of Wight. Thank you, Nico. Love back to you from the mainland. You're spiking Turkish? What? I have no idea what you're saying, to be fair. What you been up to then, Emmy? Since you're in, have you done any more of it? I've been preoccupied all day, so I have not been on YouTube at all. And I have only just now. Well, I got back to the van a little while ago, and I just sort of had myself a hot chockey because I didn't get one this morning. I was out this morning before I had anything at all to eat. I say this morning, yeah, it was this morning, just but quite late on. It's like a late start, and then yeah, straight off out. I've been out all day, and yeah, I've only just got back to this really. Whew, let's just check what I'm hooked up to here. Yeah, I think I'm on the Wi-Fi. I'm going to switch to not Wi-Fi. No, I'm not sure if I'm better with Wi-Fi or not here. I hope I'm coming through clear enough to everybody. It's always hard to tell whether you guys can see or not. You know, I think I'm going to do it actually. I'm going to take myself off the Wi-Fi. In the chat, hi back to you, and I'm not going to be able to at all make. Since Amuri, I think is the last part of that. We'll go with Amuri. That sounds like the nicest part of that name. Yeah, it's just going to be a chat one today. I'm hoping to see some of the YouTube family in and chat away. I've had a lovely day. It's been an amazing day actually. Yes, Sue. Hi, welcome in. Yeah, I've just seen your question after me saying that, but yeah, I've had a wonderful day. I hope your day has been at least half as good as mine, and we'll be all right. Although a curveball or two here today, but yeah, it's been overall quite a lovely day. So yeah, yeah, I'm good. Amiri, how about you? I hope you're well. Where are you from, may I ask? I'm in the UK. Oh, that needs more oxygen. And I need to separate out the logs slightly. There we go. It all shifted a little bit. Yeah, there we go. We want that flowing good. Look at that. Lovely. Well, that's probably too much. Yeah, okay. About that. There we go. We get there. And we have, is it Rene? I hope I'm spelling that right. It's up to you. I'm good. Hope you're well. Yeah, so Sue has replied saying, you look and sound a lot brighter today, so that's good to see, Mum. Well, I should do. I've had a lovely date today. That is all I've been doing today. I can say, without a doubt, I was on the best first date I've ever had today. Yeah. So it's been wonderful. It's been lovely. How about you, Sue? What have you been up to? Hope your day's been good as well. It's always a bit funny at the start. Like I'm not quite sure what to say at the moment. Like my brain is just properly just geared, working through loads of stuff. I've got some big things to think about tonight. I'm going to be honest, some really big things to think about. So yeah, my brain is chugging away. Like the gears are just like motoring, and I've got to somehow try to think of what to say to you guys. I could just crack out the Bandido or something and play that and try not to talk too much, but I'm way too hyped to sit there and try and focus on a game of Bandido, I'll be honest. We've got a hello guys from, I don't know, that's a Russian or something name. It's a lot of characters I don't have any clue how to pronounce. You live in Burundi, and I would like to talk to you. What? Am I saying that right? Burundi, where's that? I've never heard of that ever. And we have my name is I'm going to try and pronounce that. Is that M-U-I-N? So Muin? Is it Muin or Muin? I'm hoping that I'm saying that right. And you live in Tajikistan. I hope I'm saying that right as well. That's wow, we're getting the proper global sort of community in. I like that. She's saying, well, I moved the grass and tidied the garden. I mowed the grass. My buttons on my shirt are making this very hard to read sometimes. What is going on? So I mowed the grass and tidied the garden and just generally chilled this afternoon. Oh, that's not bad. Good evening, Noah. Welcome to the chat. Sparker, I'm really happy that you had a good day, bud. And hi, everyone else. Thank you, Sparker. Great to have you here. Hope your day's been good. I hope you had a nice day, Noah. I was hoping to see Noah today. So the plan was to meet, Patty is her name, in London, somewhere near, not far away from where she's not a million miles away from like the area that Noah lives. Like yeah, it's a fair walk, probably like, I don't know exactly where she lives. I just know the area, and I think the areas are probably give or take about probably be 30 minutes, 40 minutes walk up from each other. Probably quicker if you use public transport, but I'm one to walk it and save the dosh, to be fair. And I thought, you know, I'd be coming down and trying to be near Noah's area. I could probably see him for a little bit today, and then see her. But to be honest, I don't like she decided to come up here instead because she has a friend who lives nearby, and so she's staying at her friend's for a couple of nights, and so we spent pretty much the entire day today out together. It was a really, really lovely day. I really, and I did not expect it. I'm going to be honest. I thought this was going to be one of those ones where it would probably be not as good as I was hoping, and I was very pleasantly surprised, to say the least. I'm not sure how good that wood actually is. I mean, to be honest, I haven't attempted to dry it. It seemed dry enough. It was dangling in a tree, so I felt like it had dried off enough in the warm weather. She is now, so yes, so the date went really well, and she is really lovely. But there's one complication that needs lots of thinking about. But other than that, it was amazing. She is the most amazing person I think I've ever come across in terms of like how she makes me feel like that. So yeah, it has real potential, but there is a big question over it. So it's not something that I want to talk with you guys, because it's a very personal thing to her that I don't think I have the right to talk about on a stream in public. No, saying you planted some more stuff in the allotment. Nice. And sorted out the balcony finally as well. Nice. Got the tomatoes spread out. Some more drill plants. You know what? I need to get a load of stuff in at my allotment, Noah. I've been meaning to do it for ages. So before someone crashed into the van, literally that week was supposed to be the week of getting loads of stuff sorted at the allotment, but then that got put back. I then got most of it sorted while I was at the bed and breakfast, but now I need to actually get some stuff like sown and get things in the ground, and I'm just being so like lazy with it. Loads of it is just way too late, but I'm just going to do what I can, and we'll see. Someone asking for my WhatsApp number. My email is in my bio. If you want to send me an email, you're more than welcome, but I'm not giving out my number on here. So no, I was saying, I was wondering if I'd see you today. I was going to be nearby. Yeah, I was hoping so, but hi Gracie, good to see you. Your internet's slower than McDonald's. I like that. That's good. That's class. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster of a day a little bit, to be honest. It's been a real high for the most part, but yeah, might need to talk to I might need to talk to you, Noah, at some point. I'm going to say. Don't know how long the stream's going to go on, but maybe over this evening or in the morning. I'm going to need to. I mean, I've done some percolating already, but wow, I'm going to need to. Oh, it's Mr. Friend with a new profile pic. Hi, Mr. Friend. Morning, maybe better. Yeah. You say that. Oh no, actually, you used to get up really late, but obviously for reasons you now get up for a reasonable time in the morning. Yeah, I'll see how I do. I'm not sure. I probably will sleep quite well tonight, but yeah, actually I'm feeling quite tired. I'll probably be asleep quite early. I can feel that. There's been a lot of emotion today, so it's like I always notice I get tired on the days when I feel a lot of things, because some days go by and not much happens. There's not much to feel about, but today there was a lot of things to feel about. So. A movie saying, "What are you doing crazy? What's this crazy?" You probably know what I'll say about dating, though. No, this is a very specific thing now, and I need to give it a bit of thought. Yeah, it's a very, very specific thing, and it's not about dating per se. It's about something else. So, yeah, yeah, it's a rather big thing as well. So, which is why I probably need to talk about it. I need to get more than just my own thought on it. Sorry, Gracie's saying something about not joking. What's this? Oh, something's broken. What, your internet? Well, it can't be broken because you're still here. Who is this ham rider? What ham rider? I don't understand this. What's a ham rider? Ah, dear with me. Anyway, we've got modded chat already. Do I need to get anything off my chest? Just the shirt, I think. No, I'm joking. Oh, what's that torture kit in the background? That's called kitchen utensils, to be fair. But you're not the first person to mistake it for my dungeon. My dungeon's downstairs. This is the kitchen upstairs. That's all. So that's my kitchen behind me. So if you didn't know, I'm a van lifer, and this is my van. So yeah, and I'm just having a chit chat today. We do random things on the stream. If you're new here, this is a random place where we just do whatever I'm doing that day. It could be fires out in the woods. It could be board games. It could be a chit chat like this. Could be a few other things. Just we get about and we do whatever. But the main thing is that we're here to just spend time with each other, chat amongst the family, and spill the beans on whatever you've been thinking about or doing for the day. Mr. Friend saying we're here for you. Thank you. Yeah, like dating is never straightforward, is it? Realistically, yeah, it's a weird thing. How do you torture someone with a ladle? Asked Sparker. I can't see. I don't want to get banned, Sparker. I could give you the answer to that, but you know, YouTube policies and all that. No, I jest. Whee! Vivid Plays gets the clap. Well done, Vivid. First person to mention Jeffrey Epstein. Hey. Vicken says, gotcha. Yeah. You put way too much thought into this. What's this? Am I saying, so send me the one? I don't even know what you mean by that. So Mr. Friend saying, I gave up on the idea of dating. Divorce just knocked it out of me. I got to admit, my divorce was, well, the divorce part wasn't that bad, to be honest. It was the bit before. I mean, like the divorce bit was, so the only hard bit about separating or divorcing my ex was not seeing my boys every day. That's the hard bit. The hard bit and the only bit that was difficult for me is going from seeing my boys every day, like giving them a hug before bed, saying goodnight, and then seeing them in the morning, even though sometimes they can be right little brats, though, like just having them around and being with them every day consistently. And yeah, sure, I went off for camping trips and there was days when I didn't see them and stuff, but they were few and far between. It wasn't like a regular thing. To go from that everyday thing of seeing them to just every other week, and now to the point where I don't see them anywhere near as much because they're at their mum's most of the time for school and stuff. Yeah, the not seeing my boys is the hard part. Not seeing her, that's a bonus realistically. We just didn't get on anymore. She's a good person. Don't get me wrong, she's a good person. I've got nothing bad to say about her, but we just ain't right for each other. And being around someone you're not right with, it's not good. I mean, I don't want a friend who's an aggro, let alone a partner. And so, but it's not because she's a bad person. She's a good person. She's a decent mum. But yeah, it's just it's just definitely better not being around her. But the boys I miss like mad. And yeah. Hey Teddy, good to see you, my man. I'm well. How about you? Dan was saying I'm doing breathing exercises. Major panic attack. Spider ran across my bed. I cannot cope with them. I hope it was a small one and not a big one. If it was a big one, just leave the room, damsel. Just vacate. Just let it win. Just let it have the bedroom. And just like don't even try to fight if it's a big one. This friend saying my ex wasn't right for me and she was also a bad person. Yeah, there's plenty of bad people out there. I've from the dating that I have done since my divorce, and I don't want to make myself sound like a player, but I've dated a fair few women since then. I don't know how many, because we're just talking anything from like one date to like maybe like a few dates, or even like a couple of weeks together, and one woman I lasted like a month with. This is all dating, but it's not like I'm sleeping with all these women or anything like that. It's just dating. I have dated a number of women, like quite a few, since the divorce, and quite a number of them have had past really bad relationships, and that's prevalent out there. I mean, I don't know if it's just the kind of the women that I'm attracting or something. I don't know, but there's a lot of bad people out there, a lot of bad exes. It's bad out there. It's crazy. Dan was saying, I've vacuumed everything. It can live in there till the morning. Done with the vacuum. Well played, damsel. Well played. Good to hear it, Teddy. Glad you're well. Any dates today, Casno? Yes, Teddy. I was just talking about that. I had the best date ever today. Best date ever. But it's a awkward one as well. It's a very, very there was a big curveball thrown, but the date itself and the lady I was on the date with, absolutely amazing. Grace is saying, I'm getting attacked. Not more spider attacks, I hope. R Davies saying easy tiger. How old are your boys? New dad with 9-month-old. Oh, nice to have you in, my man. Well, congrats on the little one. My boys are 11 and 13, although they'll be soon a year older. My youngest will have his birthday. What date is it today? So it's less than a month. I'm not sure exactly what today's date is, but it's probably about 4 weeks away, give or take. But yeah, fluff. Yeah, so yeah, they're a bit older than your one, and I can tell you, you've got a lot of great times ahead. And then also, once they get to teenagerhood, just be prepared, man. Buckle in. Dan was saying, Molly, there was a lot of bad people out there, and gullible. Arthur meets them every time. That's why I am done. Yeah, I'm going to say, to be honest, you do not have to be gullible to meet them. There's so much of them out there. You've got to be super smart to avoid them. To be fair, people can be poor. And then Amuri says, now can a woman be found? What? What do you mean? That's a very cryptic thing. Gracie with the good to see you, Wayne. How you doing, my man? I hope you're well. So, Sparkson, I've been doing some shed cleaning and thought because I hadn't been in there for a few years, nothing must be alive in there. How wrong was I? Yeah. If you've not been in there, everything's been growing. The opposite will be true. I bet you found some things in there. Don't even say it in the stream. I don't think the ladies in the stream need to hear about the what goes on in a shed when it's been left alone for a few years. Jeez. So Mr. Friend said, my boy is 15. I feel very guilty about the divorce and how it affected him, but being married to his mum wasn't fair on him with all the arguments. Yeah, you did the right thing. If the relationship is bad, toxic, whatever you want to call it, if it's not good, then being around that, seeing that as a norm is not good. It's not healthy. I do think that I should have ended the relationship sooner. It would have been harder because it would have meant less time with my boys, and it is difficult. There's no doubt in my mind, no question that it's a difficult thing, but yeah, it sometimes just has to be done. Right, that did not stay lit as long as I was hoping, so let's get another piece of wood in here that's going to help it stay lit. Although, to be honest, I think it's partly just to do with how I've laid these things out. But yeah, we do need another piece in here, I feel. Keep the airflow going. We'll be all right. Yeah. Go on, light then. it's going to go. I can see it trying. Might need a little assistance. I'm going to give it a little kickstart. Oh, that is actually really struggling. Fair enough. It kick-started a little bit, but then this ashtray is way too full. It's not helping. We'll get there. Oh, why is that not? There we go. We have a lift off. Yeah, I think I need to split the bigger logs, to be fair. I think they need a split. They're too big and round. Amiri saying, I asked you to marry me as a white woman. What on earth, Amiri? That's a random thing to say. Right, anyway. Sparker saying you don't think I'd make a good white woman. I don't know. I think put a decent wig on me. And, you know, if I had heels on, my legs would be fire. I mean, I think I'd do all right, Sparker. Yeah, I'd have to keep this like complete. You know, I'd maybe have to go get the electrolysis or something, get the old. But that said, I don't. No, there's some ladies out there with beards. I could be the bearded lady. I'd be all right. Yeah, yeah. Are you telling me you wouldn't have a piece of this if I was a lady, Sparker? I'm disappointed, honestly. I'm hurt. I joke. Anyone joining now is going to be like, what? What's he talking about? Oh, dear. Well, that's good. We got that going. Hi, Rosie. Good to see you. We've got Liam Breeman saying, did you remember that yesterday had a turd in it? Ah, yes, it did. Yes, it did. We've had this before. Very good. Yes, I like that. Yes, you are correct, Liam. Rosie's saying, I've seen some wood today. You did? Did you collect it up to burn later? It's the Turd Awards. Oh, dear. So, let's see, I've got to check the chat. Oh no, I don't think I missed too much while I was doing the fire. That's good. Oh, Tilly's saying, same person as last week. Oh, do you mean for the date? No, this was a first date again. So I messaged the lady from last weekend and explained that I didn't really feel the connection that I was hoping for. So yeah, and I don't know if she was just saying it to kind of save face or not hurt my feelings, but she said, yeah, I think the same, thanks so much. And she was very demure about it. I always worry that I've maybe like hurt someone's feelings when because rejection's never nice. When I'm on the receiving end of rejection, it hurts, as simple as that. So I don't like rejecting people, but at the same time, you can't stay with somebody just because you don't want to reject them. That's awful. If you're the kind of person who does that, don't do that. That's like a must not do, that one, to be fair. So yeah. Rosie asked me what I did for dinner. Well, actually, I went out to the Pera Kitchen in Biggleswade, which is one of the first Turkish restaurants that I used to always go to, and it did not disappoint. It was good. It was a good meal. It's not the best Turkish restaurant that I've been to by a long shot, but it's the best one in this area, to be honest, that I can get to on short notice. So that's where we went. We had a little walk around here in Stopfold, and then yeah, I wasn't planning on telling her that I'm a van lifer. This was not on the agenda. I'm going to be honest. I had a conversation on the phone with her. Um, we messaged a bit, and I thought that she would probably not be keen on the idea of dating somebody who lives in a van. Probably would get past it if she got to know me. So I thought, have a date or two, and and wait for it to come up naturally, see how it goes. Because this has happened before, and it's normally fairly fine. Um, but anyway, so we're on the date, and she was kind of being quite open with me about a few things, and I got a way better vibe from her in person. And I was like, I think I just want to tell her and just get it out of the way. So I got it out of the way, and she actually surprised me by saying how she'd even considered doing it herself a couple of years back for various reasons. The main one being the financial benefit of it, being that she rents in London. Anyone here who knows anything about London rental prices knows it's not easy. Hi Kit, good to see you. Hope you're well, my friend. Great to have you in as always. And we got Liam saying, stay single. Not likely. Amiri saying, I want a white woman. Well, I don't know why it specifically has to be white. I'll be honest, I'm not really worried about, I quite like any, skin color, tone, whatever. I mean, it's all about personality for me. I've said this before in the stream. I'm not much for, I don't want someone that I want someone I find attractive in terms of a physical sense, sure. But my real attraction comes from getting to know somebody and who they are. And I will say, Patty, who I was out on a date with today, I mean, yeah, physically attractive, but also just, yeah. Yeah, the way she looked at me will stay with me for quite some time. I'm not going to lie. Whoa. And yeah, she has left an impression. That is the best way I can say that in the most gentlemanly way. She left an impression. No, nonsense. The other way around. Forget money. Forget money. I focus on the people in my life, Liam. That's my friends, my boys, and hopefully if I can find somebody, that special someone as well. Rose saying, what would you do if you found someone but they wanted to live in a house with you? You don't need to answer if it's two person. Oh no, it's totally fine to answer. Then I would live in a house with them if I found the right person. It's a no-brainer. So on my dating profile, I talk about a few bits and pieces, and the last bit I say is for the person I love, I will move mountains. That's me. I will make it happen. And being with somebody, that's the priority. It's like being with friends. What we do, what we're getting on with, is it, I want it to be something we're all enjoying, sure, but the priority is spending time with the mates and just, having a good laugh. What we're actually doing, whether it's camping, board games, just hanging out, going to do sport, it doesn't really matter what the activity is, even if we're doing one or not. Just time with mates, it's the quality time. And it's something like that with a partner. I don't really mind if it's in a van or if it's in a house. To be fair, this has never been a sticking point with any of the people that I've actually dated. And usually it's either that they're interested in doing van life with me or like alongside in their own vehicle, or that they would want to have a place, but we keep the van for weekends away, which suits me as well. I think if I'm with somebody who is able to split the bills with me so we can afford to have a place and the van, it's not really a big deal. If somebody said to me they want to be with me, but I have to basically pay for a house and they want me to work and support them and they're not going to put anything into it, I'll be like, nah, I don't want the added stress for that. That would be quite a lot. and I'll be honest, I wouldn't really feel like that person was looking to me as somebody to be with so much as someone just to provide for them. And that's like, it's a very, yeah, I don't mind being the provider. That's who I kind of am, but I don't expect to be doing everything myself. It's like like feeling as if there's some level of like duty to that level. It's just not, that's not cool. But yeah, moving into a house for somebody or whatever, yeah. I mean, a bit of a dream for me is to actually own a piece of land, build a house, or buy like bit of land with like a property in it, like a little cottage or something, and doing it up. Oh yes, wouldn't mind that at all. Yeah, wouldn't mind having my own place that I could do up. I don't really want to rent again. That's something I would put off. Like I would suggest to them, like, well, how about we try to keep the costs down as minimal as possible? Like, you know, you stay in a small place, I'll have the van, whatever, or maybe even you join me in the van. We save up a buttload of money, and then we buy a place, like getting it done. Ray's saying, I've dated my fair share of both races. I mean, I think there's one race that's called the human race, and I'll date anyone who's a lovely person and makes me feel the right way. Liam said, modern women are hard work, self-absorbed. Do you know what? There is a lot of that out there. I can't say that it's all of them. You cannot generalize like that, Liam, but I will say there's a lot on the apps. Tinder is the worst for this, but also quite a lot of the women I've dated, but they're hard work in different ways. It's not like they're all like one cast. Some of them are hard work because they've been damaged from a relationship, and they're hard work emotionally to kind of like break down walls. Some of them, you know, it's just impossible. Others, they're hard work because they expect a lot from you, and they have like a overblown sense of value, and also focus on the wrong value. So they think a man has value because he has a big job and lots of money, and he can like buy them stuff or take them on holidays or whatever. And their priorities are not aligned with mine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those things, just that it's not how my priorities are aligned. You know, if there's a guy out there who he feels good about himself because he's got the big job and because he can go on holidays, and he finds a woman who finds that attractive in a man, they're aligned, they should be together. And it works like that. You've got to find the right person. So Spark saying purple is the best colour. Liam, why purple? What? Oh, Liam saying I like purple women. I see, that could sound quite bad. Anyway, so let me get down this chat a little bit. Generally asking, do you mention the boys? Do you mean while dating? Yes, of course. You know, it comes up. Not all women are hard work. Exactly, Rosie. There, not all women are. I mean, some men are hard work as well. I mean, some people are awful. Like I've said before, the stories I've had from the women I've dated about the men that they've been with, horrific, absolutely horrific. The dudes out there, do not get me. Even the ones that aren't that bad, just the liars who turn up saying I was 6 foot, but he's actually 5'6", or that he's like using photos from 15 years ago, or completely different person even. Not to say that the women don't do that. Quite a few of the women that I've been on dates with have used photos that are about 5 to 8 years old, and the women seem to have a thing like, oh well, it's only a few years old, it's quite recent, and then they go, oh well, it's about 3 years. I'm like, oh okay, so that's not that recent. They go, oh well, it's fairly recent. I'm like, 3 years is 3 years. Like, you know, don't be like you were moaning 5 minutes ago about some guy using one that was from 8 years ago, and there's a difference between 3 and 8 years, but 3 years is still 3 years ago. Like, you know, just, you know, maybe get a more recent photo. I get, it's fair enough if that's like, you know, you did your big holiday 3 years ago and you had loads of great photos from it, add some of them in, but put a recent one as well, surely. I mean, I generally try to have one that's at least from like the last 3 months, just because it's legit. It's universal damsel. Even the aliens say that it's the best colour. Don't ask me how I know. Oh dearie me. Took me 12 streams to find safety in these streams, but now I trust Molly with my life. Big words, Rosie. Do not trust me with your life, honestly. Can I be honest about something? Yeah, I mean, that is one of the troubles with a lot of guys out there, Rosie. They're sexualizing the women, And I'll be honest, quite a lot of the women on the apps are very focused on not attracting the guys that are just after sex, but it seems that that's quite prevalent out there, to be fair. Lotso Hugging Bear. That's a nice name. Welcome, Lotso Hugging Bear. Mr. Friend said, my sister's just gone through divorce. Husband cheated on her for a year. Oh, see, that's not good. Family in pieces. That's awful. Then he dumped his side chick and wanted to stay with my sister, but she had a... Good on her. Don't take that. That's awful. Rosie says, am I like Barbie or something? Toy Story. What? We have Haj in saying hello. Hi, Haj. Bronson's in saying your hair is weird. Is it because it's silver? Woohoo! No. Bronson, your name. Rosie should have defence of my hair immediately. I impressed Patty today because now she has a salon and she obviously does hairdressing and stuff. And I asked her, "What do you think of my hair?" And she was like, "Oh, I like your hair." And she said, "But if I'm honest, like your style, you could have a different style, probably suit you a bit better." And I was like, "Oh, what would you think?" And we talked about it. I said, "But what do you think about like the cut? Do you think it's still all right?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's cut really well. It's it's been like whoever did it, he or she, who was it?" And I was like, "Oh, it was me." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "It was me. I cut it." And she's like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "No. How did you do that on like just on your?" And she's looked at back. Suddenly she's interested. And she was like looking at the back and like touching it all and going, "How have you cut it like this? How did you do that on your own?" It's like, well, just just with the clippers and doing it with the mirror and stuff. It's done. But she was really impressed, and I was like, "Yeah, thank you very much." Mr. Trent saying it was the second time he cheated on my sister that we know about. Yeah, that we know about is the important part there, because if you catch somebody on something once, they've done it at least 5 times. That's generally my rule on anything, not just cheating, but anything at all. Like if you catch someone's hand in the cookie jar, that's the one time you caught them. There'll be another 5 cookies that are missing. I can tell you that much. And if you catch them twice, that could be a lot more. And Bronson Deville saying, "How does your hair stand so?" I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't even have product in it. It just goes like that. I can push it down. There you go. Look. If you don't look it high, ooh, there you go. Wow, that looks awful. But yeah, it just goes like that, Bronson. It's just my hair. That's all it is. It's hair. It stands up. What do we do with the hair? Ray's saying, "I've had to pull my brother out of 4 abusive partners, 3 female and 1 male. He doesn't understand why I do it." I mean, it's very good of you to support him like that. But remember, if you're doing that work for him, he's not learning, and it's good for you to try to talk to him first and explain to him what's wrong with the relationship and help him to do the effort to actually pull himself out. Yeah, I mean, obviously, look after your brother, but it's important that he's learning as best he can to look after himself with that as much as possible. Sue's saying, "Looking forward to seeing you with a new hairstyle in the future then." Quite possibly, she might want to have a crack at giving me a different style, and I might let her if we're together. But I'm going to be honest, there's a very big question over the whole thing, and I do need to work through that. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. We got into some very deep. I mean, we laid it all out there. I don't think we have many things hidden away. The skeletons were released from the closets, let's say, and we talked about pretty much everything we could. I don't know if it's just me or what, but honestly, sometimes these first dates that I go on, I get so much more information than I expect on a first date. It's just, I don't know. Do you know what? There's a very common theme that happens when I go on first dates. Women tell me that they feel very comfortable to tell me stuff. I don't know what that's about. But that happens, and they tell me a lot of things, and yeah, that's going quite well down there now. Yeah, I like that. I like when people are open with me and whatnot, and it's always nice because then you're getting to know the person rather than like worrying, rather than what they want to show the world. You get to see them. But yeah, there was some big reveals today. So yeah, things must be decided and thought about. It's been saying, I feel like one person in the relationship is always abused. No, that's not true. That's the kind of logic that allows abusers to get away with the abuse. No, it's never all right, and there are people out there in relationships where that's not a thing. What's so? I didn't throw you away. Your kid did. Ain't one kid ever love a toy really? What? Are you talking about? I don't know what is going on there. Some weird stuff being said in the chat there, but I don't know. I think there was a point to it, but I'm missing it because I'm maybe not catching the whole chat. No, it's not that. They don't just verbally abuse him, they physically and mentally abuse him. Yeah, I guess there's that. But again, you need to get him, even in that situation, to realise and try to put himself away, not just you yanking him out of a relationship. But I get how you want to be protective. But if he keeps sliding back into them, that's probably because he's got you there as a safety net a bit too much, and he's not learning. Like, he's got to learn. And I'm not saying leave him to it. Don't get me wrong, but talk to him about why you're doing it. Make sure he understands before you're dragging him out of a relationship. Don't just you've got to communicate with him. Let him know that this isn't right, that isn't right. Help him to see that it's not right before starting to take like huge actions. That's all I'm saying is communicate. So just boil this down. What I'm saying is communicate, not just act. Yeah, that's important. Which I imagine you might be doing, but just I want to make that clear as we're talking about it. Dan saying I must be too nice then, like my mother says, I'm too nice for my own good, Mr. Yes, that is. The nice ones get taken advantage of. I will tell you this much: abusers don't get abused. They know what to look for. So a rule of thumb of mine is, and I've learned this by a lot of people, if someone can imagine you doing something bad for a certain reason, like a really bad thing, like oh, he's probably doing that because he would do blah 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 blah, and they can run down a path of what the person might be trying to get away with, right? That's because they've either had it done to them, or they would do it to somebody else, and quite often it's because they do it to somebody else. Now this is not a golden rule, hard and fast. It's just a generalisation, because I can see what people would do, partly because I've seen it done to others. So that's like a caveat. It's like I've learned from other people's stories and my own experiences, and so I can tell what somebody's up to. But even I miss things, because I can be honest, because I wouldn't do it to somebody. Sometimes I get blindsided, and I'm like, what on earth? And then it occurs to me afterwards, oh, of course you would. But because I wouldn't do it myself, I didn't see it coming. And so that's a big thing. If somebody's constantly seeing what other people could potentially do, that's a sign that they're the kind of people who do it. And this is why abusers don't get abused, generally speaking, because they see it coming, because they would do it themselves, and then they just step out of it, or they just know, and they wouldn't, they just don't get in that situation. But the nice people, the people who couldn't imagine doing that to somebody else, just give the person a benefit of doubt, can't imagine them doing it, and then and it happens. Abasi's in. Hey, hi Abasi. The one who's really nice can be the abuser. I mean, I think I see what you might be getting at there, and that can be true. Like, somebody can be very, very nice and not necessarily mean to take advantage of you, but they can take advantage of you. That is very, very true. Sometimes, technically, both people could be abusing the other because they're just not gelling. Like, the thing is, the word abuse is thrown around a bit, and like, there was no abuse in my relationship with my ex at all. But yet, if you took apart some of the things that happened, you go, oh, that's a bit abusive. And you could say some of the things I was doing were, some of the things she were, but they weren't really. It was just negative behaviour bouncing back off of each other a little bit. Doesn't mean, like, abuse is about a pattern of behaviour that is designed to control, manipulate, and stuff like that. It's a very, it's one of those things. There's a slippery slope. A lot of people use a lot of terms these days, where like someone's a little bit too organised and go, I'm a bit OCD, and so no, don't do that, don't do that, because that's not your thing. Or like, I'm a bit ADHD because they were a bit scatterbrained. No, don't do that. You can't take what's a proper thing and use it to describe something that isn't. And I think people do that a bit with abuse as well. But there's definitely some toxic behaviours that can happen in relationships both ways, or even come from a good person and stuff. So yeah. Bronson saying, I heard grey hair is coarser than normal. Did it stand up like that before you went grey? Trying to think. I went grey when I started going grey when I was 18, Bronson, which is like well over half my life ago. So just trying to think. You might be onto something there. Now I think about it, Bronson, you might be onto something there. I do not think that my hair was so ready to stand up when it was younger, I'm going to have to look into that later. That's interesting. That is interesting, that is. What do you think, Sparker? Do you think that could be a thing? No, I don't even know if Sparker. I'm saying because Sparker's knowledgeable, by the way. But like that feels like a thing. When I think about that, yeah, my hair didn't used to want to stand up when I was younger, and now it likes to. That is an interesting thing. That is. I have no idea what ingoat, I think, is saying. People not being harassed by something or other. I don't know what that word is, but okay. Mr. Friend saying, Damsel, you need to find a nice person and not settle for anything less. True. But I think Damsel's fine with just being alone. Although, to be fair, sometimes people say that and they're just trying to convince themselves. I don't know Damsel enough to know whether she's just literally just done with it all. But I do wonder, so if you're here, Damsel, I have a question. If you could click your fingers and have somebody who was like amazing, like an amazing partner, like, a really loving person, just the perfect partner, so, and you knew that when they're never going to turn bad and they were just always going to be there, supportive, loving, that sort of thing, and make you happy. If you could have that, and all you had to do was click your fingers, right? Would you, or are you like, nah, no matter what, I'm far happier being alone? Because some people, I have to admit, there are people out there who probably are happier alone. Just their general way that their mind works, the way they're in their being, and that I can see that that's a thing. But I am curious. But you don't have to answer, damn, if you don't want to. But I am curious. Sparks, I think that it sometimes, but it's not always Bunsen. I have loads of grey, but most of it's just like it used to be. Oh, there you go. Sparker has actually answered that. I'm just behind. Days Bananas in. Yo, Days Banana. Could see. So you're saying women sometimes struggle to be heard. Women like a good listener. It makes them feel like they want to what they have to say is of value. Well, what they have to say is of value, but yeah, I can see what you're saying there, actually. You're responding to what I was talking about before. Thank you, Sue. Well, I'm behind. I'm going to be really quick. I'm going to do a quick rush. So if I'm being a burden talking about my brother, tell me. No, Rosie, talk. That's what we're here for. Talk. If you want to talk about it, you're fine. I mean, I can only talk about my opinion on things. Obviously, anything I give that sounds like advice is just my opinion. Don't ever take it to heart and think you have to do anything I say. Because the thing is, I can give opinions on things you guys say, but you have to understand I'm working on limited information. So I'm having to fill in a lot of blanks and just fire away with something. But that's what we're here to do, is just chit chat. But that's one of the reasons why my email is in my bio. So if people want to actually send me emails and talk about something in a bit more depth, give me more information, I can make a more informed opinion. And even if you don't want an opinion, you can just do it just to tell me, just to get it off your chest. And if you just want me to listen, I'm here to listen as well. Noah saying, or the second Noah says, why is your hairline far back and then there's just a clump of hair on top? Because that's how my hair is. I don't know. Noah saying, Are there plenty of and there are plenty of relationships that aren't abusive? Yes. I have seen enough relationships that are not abusive in any way, shape, or form to know that they exist. There are plenty. As I said, Noah is absolutely right. Spark is saying sometimes abuse can be caused by external factors just to complicate things. Yeah, um, yeah, it's true. It doesn't have to be one of the partners, and it's. I mean, to be honest, life is complicated. People like to try to boil it down, black and white, generalize things, and it's like it's not anything but life is a tapestry of like color and like different things happening and whatnot. It's life. Okay, that log has not wanted to really burn as easy as I was hoping, so I'm going to have to split all of those to get them to burn. So tomorrow, that's a job. I'm going to go outside with the hatchet and split some wood. Although I might do it. Oh, I can't really do it this evening. I won't get away with that. Grey at 18 watts, says Ibassi. Yeah, that's it's just in the genetics. So I didn't go fully grey. It started off slowly. At first, it was just a few grey hairs at the top and a little tuft at the sides, and it sort of spread out from there. And now it's the full grey. I don't mind it. The payoff is I ain't going bald. I'm not thinning too much, and I ain't going bald. I would say it's not as probably as thick as it was when I was younger, but that might just be because it's grey rather than dark as well. I'm not really sure. That's a hard one to tell. But I'm not going to have like a bald patch at the back. I'm not going to go like I'm not going to recede, because this is not. This might look to you guys like I might be receding because I've got a high hairline, but that's always been my hairline. I've got pictures of me when I'm like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years old or whatever. I'm sitting on my mum's lap looking angry as like this at the camera, because I'm just trying to look at the camera going, what is this camera doing? What is it doing? But my look of like concentration is anger. And you can see I've got a crew cut at the time, but you can see I've got like this V shape here, where basically I've always had my little V shape here. And it's just, some guys have that. That's all it is. I'm going to be honest. I have no, like, there were times in the past where I have worried about my looks or thought I wasn't really much. And I'll be honest, if you, I was showing Patty my photos from when I was getting married, and I was chubby. I look at myself now and I think, yeah, I look so much better now. I've lost the weight and stuff. I look pretty good. But when I have, like, I mean, I've had a few women tell me quite emphatically how good looking I am. And these are some very lovely, beautiful women. I mean, I'm not everyone's taste, but I'm somebody's, and that'll do. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, that will do. I have a voice note from somebody who, shall remain nameless, and I won't give a lot of detail because it's slightly embarrassing in a way. But this person is gorgeous, is could have probably anybody they want on Tinder messaging them and whatever. They chose to match with me, chat with me on WhatsApp, and I have a recording of this person telling me, I think the word she used was incredibly attractive, and I'm like, okay, and like just off the cuff, like no kind of like me asking, she just in a voice note got so emphatic about what she was talking about, just kind of laid it on me, and I was like, I'll take it. Ego boosted. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I mean, people can say what they want in here, and I'm really off fast, honestly. I'm like, the people who matter seem to like me, and that's all that matters. Oh dear. No, you take the wins when you can, honestly. Mr. Fred saying, my white hairs are really different to my black ones. Really? Yeah, I mean, I don't notice a lot of difference in mine, but having it been pointed out about the whole standing up, because like I literally don't have product. This is just where I push it back when it's drying, and then once it's finished drying, I just kind of tuft it up, and it just sits in this style. So I like this style because it's really easy. That's the main reason why I like it. There were times when I thought about just going back to a crew cut just to keep things really simple, and it does, and it feels nice, a crew cut. But I have it quite short at the back, and you get almost the feeling of the same thing where you kind of run your hands on it. But I sometimes feel like going a bit shorter just to have it like really nice. I don't know. White beard hairs are really thicker, says Ren. I have slight ginger in mine. Patty noticed that today. She was like, "Did you used to be ginger?" I was like, "No, I've got the ginger gene because my mum's ginger, and like three of my nieces, but my sister's kids. Oh no, sorry, two of my nieces and a nephew. Sorry, the three kids of my sister basically. They're all ginger, like full on ginger, because they got the ginger gene from both sides or whatever. It's just mental." Ebasi said, "I'm happy alone because I can sleep around." You do you, my man. You do you. Rosie was saying, "I know the question was for Damsel, but my answer is no." Fair enough, Rosie. Well, you say that though, but you've been doing a lot of dating recently, so you come and go with this. You are like the wind, Rosie. You are like the wind. You're just changeable. I don't know whether you're coming or going. Dan was saying, "I'm damaged too much to be with someone else. I'd rather be alone than put someone through my trauma issues." That is heartbreaking, damsel, because that tells me more than I think you've meant to say there. That tells me the answer is yes, but that you don't think that you would be good for somebody else. And I can tell you now that's not true. I I don't mind somebody with, like, their traumas are not a big deal. If you're finding the right person with the right kind of traumas. I have traumas, but I don't need to put that on somebody else, and I do my best to manage it. And I'm aware that some other people have more to deal with than I do, but I mean, like, one of the people that was potentially someone I could date, she has some trauma issues, and I don't think that I would let that stand in the way. If the feelings are there, things can be, I can be supportive, and it's not really a big deal. Providing support for somebody that I care about is not a difficulty at all. If I'm getting, back some of what I'm giving out, it's enough. You don't need to worry about being perfect for the other person. I fully expect that this is the one thing that I have a big criteria about. So my number one thing is they can't smoke, right? So immediately swipe left or whatever on the old Tinder. I don't use that to swipe. I use the buttons, but I think it's swipe left, isn't it? And anyway, but if I think that they're the kind of person who wants me to be perfect, like there's somewhere they've got the profile and they're listing everything they want the guy to be, and it's a list as long as my arm and then some. They're not telling you about what they're bringing to the table. They're just saying, "I'm looking for a man who's blah 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 blah," and it's all the same stuff always. Like, some of it's basic stuff that surely you just expected, and stuff that they say, but they don't really necessarily mean what they're saying. Like, they say, "I want an honest guy," and it's like, well, you don't want someone who's 100% honest, because nobody wants that. But what you mean is you want someone who can, be open and honest in the way that you're looking for. But it's also something you shouldn't really need to say, because surely we all want everyone to be honest to that level. And it's like, that's a base ask. I don't even bother saying that in my profile. I'm like, if you're coming to me being dishonest, I ain't gonna know. And if I'm asking you to be honest or not, you're still gonna say the same thing. I've got to work out if I think you're an honest person. That's just, so why ask that in a profile? Bit of a waste of time. So this is what I mean by, like, the non things. But they have a few of those in there. But then if they start adding in some very specific and quite a lot of things, I'm like, this person's going to want me to be perfect. I don't really feel that at all, because I'm not perfect. And that person, I swipe left on, because I'm like, nah. I'm looking for somebody who can understand that I'm not going to be perfect. And on the days where I've got strength and I've got, my emotional battery nice and full, I will give support and I will be there for them. But some days I'm going to have a bad day and I'm going to need some back. And if they're not in for that, go on. Lucas saying, "Jesus loves you." At least somebody does. I'm joking. Ibasi said, "Would you get back with your ex-wife?" Never. Never. In a million years, never. Dan was saying, "No need to raise it, but thanks." Spark saying, "And everyone should respect your choices, ladies." Yes, respect is key. That's something else that they sometimes say, "I want someone respectful." I'm like, why has anyone got to put that in a profile? But at the same time, they probably do, because there's guys out there with very little respect. But at the same time, those guys without respect aren't going to read that and go, oh, she doesn't want me then, swipe. They're just going to go, oh, I can probably convince her that I'm respectful. They don't probably even see that they're not respectful. That's the thing. A lot of the guys that are bad guys don't think of themselves as bad guys. It's like the actors when they're playing like really evil guys and they get asked like, what, like, how did you play evil so well? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, the character isn't evil. He doesn't think of himself as evil for sure. He's just doing his job and he's just being what he thinks he's being. And it's like, but from the outwards, it looks very evil. And I get the concept of what they're saying there, which is that in your own storyline, you never see yourself as the bad guy, but you can do some bad stuff. Ambassador saying, can you hear people walking around your van if they did? If they're chit-chatting and they're quite loud, I can. But I'm sure plenty of people walk by and I never even know. Rosie saying, tried meditation once, sat perfectly still for 45 minutes, cleared my mind completely. Turns out it was just a really long blink. I love it, Rosie. Got Jake. Is it just Jacob? I don't know. Oh, sorry, you don't get a clap. You're not the first person to say Jeffrey Epstein. So, whoa, never heard that before, says Rosie. Way. Nice. You don't give him the clap though, Rosie, because he wasn't the first one. Defo balding, mate. You're in denial. Nah. See, I love that person who comes in with no idea at all, doesn't know me from Adam, and hasn't spent the last 44 years in my skin, and yet thinks they know more than me. Right, no, I think we already had the Epstein clap. Yes, you're right, we did. Rosie's saying, I'll be honest, I'm really ugly, LOL. No, you're not, Rosie. You are beautiful. I can see who you are. And regardless of some of the tall tales you may or may not have told us over the time, I do think that deep down you're here, and I can see that you need people to be around, and that means there's good inside you. Even the people who come in here, like, do you know the biggest difference between the good people and the bad people, right? Some of the people coming here say some really weird stuff, maybe even some bad stuff, but then they stick around and you see them calm down a little bit with it, and they just stick around and they keep coming back and they stick around and they stick around. Those people, good people, I know they are, deep down, even if they're doing some bad things, because even good people do bad things, they're deep down good, they're looking for connection. And if people are looking for connection, they're the good ones, right? And they might be doing it in a bad way because they don't know how to connect. They've not been taught. Their childhood had some sort of thing where they weren't ever taught how to connect with somebody, or the ways that they were taught to connect were not the right ways, or not necessarily the right ways, but the ways that are healthy. Yeah. So, but they're still looking for connection, and we can help them and show them the healthy ways if we stick around and we give them a bit of patience. But the ones who come in, say some nonsense, and then off they go, and we don't see them again for forever long, they're the ones that, they're just annoying. They're the ones that are just not worth it. Do you two? If Bassi asking something about something, I don't know who you're asking. How far behind? Well, I'm getting further behind. I'm trying to catch up. I'm getting further behind. So, right. I'm just going to skip a load of stuff. Just go for anything that seems like relevant to a conversation. Space Monkey's in saying, would you date someone who had particularly wrinkly elbows? Yeah, I mean, elbows is not a thing for me either way. So, yeah, that's not a deal breaker. Damsel saying, we're going to head off to bed. Good night, Damsel. Hope I didn't miss you. Have a wonderful sleep. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. And now saying the profiles need to be written for the people they want, not the people they don't want. Those people will usually ignore the text anyway. Bang on, Noah. Noah being far more concise than me. I will waffle on about it, and Noah's just hit the nail right on the head. Basically saying, what if your ex-wife apologised and said she made a big mistake and she misses you and wants to get back together? Well, A, she wouldn't say that, and B, still no. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter nothing. She wouldn't ever, but just hypothetically, if she, say, went off, did an eat, pray, love or whatever, like came back with an understanding that I was actually a really good guy and that she had some deep feelings for me, and she came back and she was all proper, like acting like everything I'd ever wanted, and you know, it'd still be no. It wouldn't matter what's what. There'd be a hard no. I never go backwards. Never ever. It's a hard rule of mine. I never ever go backwards. If a person leaves me even for 5 minutes, I ain't getting back together with them. The second that someone's even thinking that they don't want to be with me, if the words leave their mouth, something along the lines of, well, if we're going to be like this, I don't even want to be with you, sort of thing, that it's done. It's done. I'm gone. And at this point in my life, I'm not wasting any time on someone who doesn't want to be with me, even if that's just like, even if there's just a hiccup of that in there. I'm not, no, because I need you to be a million miles from that thought, like a million miles from that thought, because I'm a million miles from that thought. If I'm with you, I'm with you. That's the way it is with me. Yeah, it's just, oh, Noah's got to go. See you, Noah. Good night, my man. Thanks for popping in. Abassi, you're a good one. Yes, you've been asking fantastic questions tonight. Even the stuff about my ex, that's totally relevant in here, and I quite like that. You're bang on, and you keep coming back, Abassi. You're one of those ones who came in asking some edgy stuff, but you know, you kept coming back, and we love you. We absolutely love you. You're exactly the kind of person I'm trying to reach out to. I'm honest. The people who probably got a bit sucked into the doom scrolling and messing around on the streams and falling into some bad habits of like just ways to behave on here. And I feel like, you know, you come in here, spend some time with us, probably, like, I hate to use a word, but like stabilizing you, I guess, would be the word I'd look for here. So Rosie's saying, "Oh, be honest, I struggle to be alone. I always need someone to talk to." I'm always here, Rosie. I've said before, you can email me, and then if you want to, we can exchange numbers. And I chat to lots of the people from here on WhatsApp. It's not a big deal at all, and I'm very good at responding. I'm not perfect. Like today, I've been AWOL on WhatsApp quite a bit. I had one time where I was able to stop and do a bit of texting because my date went to the toilet, and I was like, "I'll quickly grab the phone out, check the WhatsApp, quickly respond to friends." I actually had a message from Tim today, which is like brilliant, and I heard that he's going to start up his latest adventure, and I might try and join him for that for a bit. So you might see me on stream with Tim at some point during this week. It's not guaranteed, but it might happen that I will be out on stream, maybe on campsite with Tim. I don't know if I'll be camping with him, but I'll definitely probably hang around at least for an evening and do a bit of a camp. I'm not sure exactly I'm going to play it. It'll sort of depend on a few things. Don't read my messages if it helps. Always read your messages, Rosie. Like I said, I talked to 2 people from Molly's stream, Rosie, and they helped me so much with my madness. Yeah, do you know what? I love that. Do you know what, Sparker? I love the fact that you guys have all connected with each other. We are becoming a really strong community, a really strong family, and I'm going to be honest, Sparker, you are one of the main ones in here. You're one of the best ones. You are a champion in my book, man. You're a champion. I'm going to give you the double fist bump for that. I tell you, absolute champion. And Ibasi's saying, what age pool do you date? Do you really want an answer this? Because I will give this, but it's probably an uncomfortable subject for some people in there, and it's probably going to polarize some people. So quick little tester. If anyone's not happy to have an open conversation about age stuff in here, say now or forever hold your peace, and I will get into it. But it's I as per usual, I buck normal trends on things like this, and yeah. Mr. Friend saying, Ibasi, it's very rare to go back to an ex and it works. Better to move on. Yeah, do you know what? Basically, the only time I could consider going back to somebody who I've been with is if it's so long and you've both been through so much that you're different people. So like if you dated somebody when you were teenagers, let's say, and then you met again when you were in your 40s, you two are different people, totally different people. And like if I met them and went, oh, and we reminisced a little bit, and we're like, oh yeah, yeah, and then you talk about, and you realize, wow, this person is totally different from what I met, and the sparks forming that, yeah, fair play. But like a couple of years goes by, and you think somehow it's gonna work out differently. Don't kid yourself. Do not kid yourself. Rosie wants to know what we all like about her. Well, now, what I like, Rosie, is you come back and you're respectful, and you're kind to people. Yeah, kindness goes a long way. And I like the way that you talk, and I like the way that you think. You come up with these nice jokes sometimes, and you make us laugh. I like that. You participate in the games. You try. You participate. That's massive in my book. That now I know that there's plenty of people who lurk, and I'm fine with that. If that's what you're comfortable with, that's what we're here for, and I appreciate those people. But honestly, you're one of the good ones because you really get involved. You're nice to people. You're supportive. So when there's people in here like hurting, they've got something bad that they're opening up about, they're being vulnerable, you're supportive, you give kind words, and that goes a long way. All these things, Rosie, add up to me knowing that you're a lovely person. And even though I know sometimes you can tell a yarn and stretch a truth here and there, I do feel like overall you're just such a lovely positive influence in the stream that it's okay. And just the fact that you're here, you participate in the games, you're really kind to everyone, and you're supportive. That's just amazing. And what more can we ask for? What more can we ask for? We've got Spirit saying, "Do you like the movie of the two cowboys in the tent?" I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what movie that is. So Ibasi's saying, I would go back to my ex to sleep. I mean, yeah, if you want to dabble for like a one night with your ex or something, and you're not really in a long-term relationship, and you're not looking to get back in a relationship, and you're just looking for a physical release, if you're into that, by all means. I'm not into that. I'm more into being with somebody. I need the emotional connection. I don't like to do stuff when it's not that, and it's never good. I've definitely done some stuff with people when there hasn't been a connection there. Usually because I'm trying to seek that connection, and yeah, that rarely works out. It certainly worked out once or twice where I've been quick to go into the physical part, because I was seeking the connection, and there was kind of a bit there, but then it doesn't really work out. No, it doesn't really work out that long. So, Ibas saying, would you flirt with a viewer in WhatsApp? I have done, to be fair. I'm not against dating. I've dated subscribers, man. Oh dear. Oh man, it's not. I mean, if someone's nice, someone's nice. And I'm attracted to nice. It's as simple as that. But it's yeah, it's not like it's both adults just because you met on YouTube. I mean, I constantly say YouTube is the best way to meet friends and everything that I've ever found, and certainly it's proven to be a pretty decent way to meet people as well, to date. But I mean, no better or worse, I would say at this point, than the apps as a general rule, as a general whole. But as it's just the one against all the apps I've tried, I'd say it's got a fair shot of being like as the contender. So any content from Tim would be good. Not seen him for ages. Yes, he has had a bit of a struggle time, and it would be lovely to see him back in it again. Abassi saying, Rosie, you're hot. What's age stuff? I forever hold my peace, says Abassi. Age stuff like Epstein age stuff, or normal age stuff like age gaps. Okay, that started off something. Seemed really lovely. So Rosie's saying, Moldy, did I spell it right? If I did, I deserve a clap. Yes, you got it right that time. That made my day. You're welcome, Rosie. Would you rather gain weight or gain eagers? What's eagers? Yeah, me, Rosie and Spock are all wondering what that is. So Beth's saying, what age stuff were you referring about when I said about age pool do you date? You went on a tangent. Sorry, yes, I did go on a tangent. I was just trying to catch up. I'm now caught up with the stream. I'll try to stay caught up. Well, I was just, you asked about the age pool. So no one seems to have like had any thing against talking about the age stuff. So we'll talk about it. No Epstein stuff at all. No, there's a hard line there of like, you know, there's a bottom line. So basically, I have a very wide age pool, very, very wide. I generally don't restrict that on the apps by very far. I fluctuate that a little bit from time to time, depending on the like what an app is showing me. Like, so the issue is, if I have it like no restrictions at all at either end, the app will often show me a lot of like essentially girls at like 18 to 20, and to be honest, I'm not keen on that. That's a bit like, that's way too far away. The youngest person that I have matched with on Tinder is 22, and the oldest person that I have matched with is 53. Might be older. I'm trying to think. No, I have matched with, I think, well, this wasn't on Tinder. This was on Hinge. I matched with a 57-year-old. So that gives you an idea. My age range is massive because I don't really care about a number. It's more to do with whether they're mature. And I'm going to be honest, I've met people in their 50s who I consider to be children still because they have no idea. They've been sheltered. They haven't learnt from any of their mistakes because they don't think they've made any. And I'm just like, what on earth is this person? They are just so immature. They don't get anything. And then I've met somebody who's like literally like, I mean, you take Ellie, right, in our stream, and you know how just sometimes she seems so old beyond her years because she's been through a lot of stuff. So she's grown up fast, right? And if you imagine that, extrapolate that, and you push that forward another 10 years onto her lifespan, that's almost going to be double her age there, double that experience. That's more than most people are going to have in their whole life because of the amount of stuff she's had to deal with. And I was like that. I grew up very fast because I was dealing with a lot of stuff when I was little. And to be honest, sometimes we grow up and it's not in a healthy way. And then that's the real main thing. It's have they matured, and have they matured in a healthy way where they know how to connect and they know how to love. And that's realistically what I'm mainly looking at. Like somebody who, you know, has an idea of how to maintain a relationship, how to have a healthy relationship. And to be fair, sometimes there are people who are very mature, but they've matured in a bad way. So I've dated women where their past relationships have matured them way beyond their years, but in negative ways, where I've literally had a woman say to me while dating her that she's already had the love of her life, and this was with a guy who, mind you, was abusive, and she said she could never love anyone like that again, and she was not able to do it. She was looking for a long-term serious relationship, but with someone that was comfortable with her, never actually loving them and being fully connected. And I was like, well, that's not happening then, and I'm off, because that is a really unhealthy way to have learned how to be with somebody. So long and short of it, I have a very wide age pool that I would be willing to date, but it doesn't mean that any person who, like, so I say I matched with a 22-year-old. She's very mature, very lovely. I haven't gone on a date with her or anything, but like I matched with her and chatted a bit. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I don't think it would, but it's like, I'll give it a shot just to see. But like, I mean, I might be chatting to like a 29-year-old, and I think this has happened actually. I think I was chatting to a 30-year-old on, which app was this? I'm not sure which one of the apps was, but anyway, she was 30 years old. I remember this, and we were chatting, and she seemed so immature. Like, and I at first I thought, what was that? That was a bit weird. So then I kind of ignored it and like carried on, give her benefit of the doubt. And three strikes in, I was like, oh my god, this person's very mature. So I just had to start trying to find my way to just sort of say, like, very gently, because she seemed really immature, just very gently saying, look, I don't think this is for me. I'm not clicking. I didn't want to say because you seem really immature, but I just had to say, and I was like, wow, like that's a really mature person. They have, like, what on earth? So yeah, but that's the answer anyway. Yeah, that's the answer. So, but yeah, um, and I don't want to give her age away, but Patty, who I had a really lovely date with today, is much older than me, like much older. So yeah, although she looks about the same age as me, I'd say. Yeah, so there you go. Well, I've missed loads of chat now, so uh, so Bassie, don't call me hot. I'm personally really cold. I might need a dressing gown. A dressing gown. I like that. That's a lot of knives. Are you a chef or something? No, that's just standard amount of knives for a kitchen. To be fair, I'm a cereal killer. He says, yeah, the kind of cereal you eat. He hates Cocoa Pops. I don't mind Cocoa Pops. Oh, do you know what? I used to love cereals, but I don't really have them anymore. By age stuff, do you mean dating younger? Molly ends up as a step grandfather. What? Oh dear. No, Abassi, I, I have not bed the 22-year-old. I probably would if I could. I would if I could, if she turned out to be really nice. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to get that far, if I'm honest. So I'm someone who needs to have, like, I like someone who shows me a lot of interest and who's very communicative. And I'm going to be honest, as nice as it was chatting to her for the short bit that we did, like I don't know. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna get there, if I'm honest. So yeah, I think that one's already done. Maybe I'm not really sure. Um, these things are weird. Like, people will like kind of like hit you up and then sort of like not communicate for a while and then get back to you. And I think so. This is one of the things. So I'm going to go into another tangent. But this is what we're here for, surely. One of the things I don't like about the dating at the moment is how people seem to just have it as, you can't tell if someone's really actively wanting somebody or whether they're like, and they're just basically, but they're busy with life and they can't assign a lot of time to somebody they don't really know yet, but they would once they're actually dating you and they get to know you. Or whether they're just the kind of person who doesn't really give too much about dating. They're like, oh, I'm supposed to date, and it's a bit boring sometimes in the evening, so I'll sort of flick through Tinder and have like a, match with somebody, have a chat, and think about having dates. But in reality, I probably won't, because it seems like a lot of work, and I just like to have the flirt and whatever. There's a lot of that out there. A lot of people looking for validation from people just liking them, or and matching with them, and maybe having a conversation and flirting. There's definitely been a number of women where they wanted me to flirt with them, but once I started getting into a serious conversation with them, they lost interest very quickly. And I was like, okay, I get this. You wanted me, you liked it when I was flirting at the start, because I come in strong. I read a profile, I think about what something they've said, and I come with a witty line. I give good, I give good, like, chat up lines, at least by text. um, and they like that. They come back, they get a bit more, and then I start asking them about themselves, and I can tell straight away. Then they get a bit vague. They don't really want to answer. They give you some fluff, and they're trying to get you to basically say some more nice things. I'm like, oh, and then you can tell pretty quick. You can sniff that stuff out, but sometimes it's quite hard to tell how many people are actually on there. And so this is the thing, right? I've had it got to the point where I've even got to WhatsApp talking to people, and they seem interested, but like I had one woman who we very quickly got from Tinder to WhatsApp, but then she was like, "Oh, I've got to go to bed now, though. Can we talk tomorrow?" Because the whole point was to get a phone call in. I said, "Yeah, sure, we'll talk tomorrow." And then, like, and I thought it was going to be in the morning, because I think she said in the morning. That's it. She said, "Can we talk in the morning?" I said, "Yeah, sure." The morning came. She sent a message. I'm a bit busy today. But I'll call you later. I was like, "Okay, no problem. What time are you thinking?" And she said, "Probably after 7." I said, "Yeah, no problem. Like, that'd be lovely. Well, just message me when you're free." Do I get a message from her? No, just gone in the wind. So almost as if she'd either got a better offer or it had slipped her mind and it's just not really important to her. And anyway, so long story short, I'm looking for someone where it's important to them and they're looking to communicate with me. And essentially, if I've been a little bit non-communicative, I'd like to think that they're going to chase me up and be like, oh, come on, like, when we're going, like, I want to hear from you, I want to speak to you. I don't want to feel like I'm chasing the whole time. That's not cool. So Sparky saying, LOL, is Hinge a Hinge and bracket reference? No, Hinge is an app. But I don't know why they call it Hinge, to be honest. I get Tinder, because it's like, you could call it like it's a bit like a Tinder box, but also Tinder's what you get Spark started with, and yeah, sort of like, we're saying Ellie is one of the people I feel close with on here. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel close to Ellie because she is just really lovely, a bit like you, Rosie. Yeah, I think of you as being like lovely as well, like that. Abbas saying, did you do a little something? No, I haven't even met the 22-year-old. The furthest we got is we chatted on WhatsApp. What is Hinge? I thought you said something else, what I won't repeat. No, Hinge is a dating app, right? We've got an Ant in. Hi, Ant. Lovely to see you. Thanks for the heart. What do you mean mouth game? Ah, dearie me. Anyway, I'm just going to skip loads of this stuff. I can see your thing. What are you saying? I'm not your mate. If I was, would be your first friend, but who's Rosie saying I'm not your mate to? Somebody else? I don't know. This came. Well, okay, I see. Yeah. So, Spockton, Sue, I remember my grandma saying she left the same as she did when she felt the same as she did when she was 18. I'm way younger than she was when she said this, and I feel like I'm a coffin dodger. Yeah, I think a lot of that's to do with whether you've got people around you that you feel like you're supported by and loved by and stuff like that. There's been studies on this. There's a big study. I have a link to it on one of my videos even. It's a really important and very cool study, to be fair. Rosie says, do you mention the channel? I'm assuming you're asking, do I mention it to the people I'm dating? And I do, generally speaking. I've been known to put about it on my profile sometimes because I change it here and there, tweak it. Generally, I don't mention it now in the profile, and I kind of bring it up in the conversation at some point if they ask me what I do. It comes up at different times. Sometimes I'll say what I do they'll ask me what I do for a job, and I'll tell them that I do the window cleaning. And like, sometimes they get interested in that and they want to ask me about that, and I give them the information. But if I can see them kind of go, oh, okay, and then almost like I can see their brain going, oh, that doesn't seem that interesting, or whatever. And then I go, and then I might sort of then to try to move the conversation on, sort of say, but my real passion is my channel, which is mostly a hobby at this point, but it's what I spend a lot of my time doing, and I talk about the channel, but sometimes it's come up in conversation. So with the 22-year-old who shall remain nameless until otherwise needed, is into a lot of mental health stuff. She's into helping other people. Specifically, she wants to be an occupational therapist. She's going to go and study for that in September, and she's done a lot of what she was working in like physiotherapy type stuff and whatnot, and rehabilitation and whatnot. It's I don't think she was doing a physiotherapy side, but basically, like, she was into helping. Her career has been helping people, and she's looking to advance that into a different field. And so we got talking about that, and I said how I'm not really trained with anything like that, but we do kind of like see a lot of stuff through my channel, people struggling with different things, and it's all about connecting with people and giving people this safe space. And I was telling them all about the stuff that we do here in the community we're building, and she loved that, and she thought that was amazing, and I liked that. We connected on that quite a lot, so it just came up in conversation naturally about that. And I have to admit, at that moment in time, I felt very proud of myself having you guys here doing this thing together. So yeah, there you go. I hope that answers your question, Rosie. Mr. Friend's going to bed. Take care. Good night. Happy working tomorrow. I'm glad I'm not working tomorrow. Would you date an 18-year-old if she was mature? Asks Ibasi. I mean, I guess it's not out of the realms, or it's not impossible, but I would say very, very unlikely. Like super, super unlikely. I couldn't see that happening. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't really see age that much. I see who a person is, but I don't think I've ever met anyone that young who I felt a level of connection with like that. Um, I mean, that would have to be a very special person. Mm. But I wouldn't write it off. I wouldn't write it off. The same way I wouldn't write off someone in their 60s or something like that if they. I mean, the thing with someone being older is I'd want them to be able to be active. You know, someone who could get out and still walk up like at least halfway up a mountain with me. Um, you know, it doesn't have to be quick, but I'd like them to be able to be physically like fit. I mean, there are. I'm not saying that that's old enough to not be able to do that stuff like that, but some people, if they've not been that active for their life at that age, would start to struggle. But I mean, I've met people who are younger than me and wouldn't be able to get even like up a small hill. So, I mean, that person's not for me either. I want someone healthy, um, and you know, not doesn't have to be 100% healthy. I'm going to be honest. There's been people who've had all sorts of things, like physically that I wouldn't say disability, but like, but I'd date somebody with a disability. You know, somebody in a wheelchair, for instance, or you know, someone maybe without an arm or a leg or something. Yeah, I mean, if they're the kind of person still getting out there, still pushing on, they've got positive attitudes, it doesn't really matter to me. You know, if I've got to push them in a wheelchair up there, up place and whatnot, or give them an assist or whatever. If they've got the mentality they want to go and do stuff with me, and they've still got that personality, yeah, I mean, and that's a more interesting question, really. Um, Things like that, you see, I just don't really. I don't really filter by physical stuff like most people, and in reality, like your age is a physical thing, so is your ability level and stuff like that. I mostly just want someone who's capable to spend time with me doing at least some of the things that I enjoy doing. You know, has the mental capacity to be able to play a few board games with me and discuss a movie or a show to a level where I can at least feel like I'm having a conversation with somebody. So, you know, I need a certain level of intelligence, but they don't have to be super intelligent or anything like that. They just, you know, like somebody with super low IQ probably isn't going to be suitable for me. So, like, certainly, you know, keeping it legal within the age ranges, and you know, disability wise, you know, I like somebody who was paralyzed from the neck down, probably not for me at all. But you know, there's a broad spectrum of that, and as I've said, like, you know, color of skin and stuff like that, and nationalities and things. Like, I mean, they don't even have to speak English that well, I'm going to be honest. If I can understand them, if we can use a bit of Google Translate for the difficult stuff, it's no biggie. Like, I really am not fussed about it. This, what's in here and what's in here, that is what counts. Like, massive for me. It's massive. Sparker's saying something, and she's so I remember my oh, I see, yeah, and you're saying Sparker don't feel like that. I see. Can you clean my windows, says Abassi? Probably not. Would you date a 6 foot muscly guy? No, I don't date men. As you know, I'm open to trans, but not men. I'm not into that. It's yeah, Sparky, you feel what you feel, to be honest. So Rosie, Molly, the thing I like about you is that you're honest, and it helps me feel safe. I appreciate that, Rosie. And you know, you can always be honest with me. You can just be yourself with me, and I will love you even more for it. Simple as that. We've got an Evan in, I think, saying how to know a woman's gender, because she said she's a woman. I don't know. I mean, certainly if I feel feminine energy, and they say they're women, that's good enough for me. Ibasi, be respectful to Rosie, please. Joshua's in saying, what is going on? We're just chit-chatting, Joshua. I'm in a chit-chatty mood, I'm going to be honest. The fire is going out, but it's done its job. The van is quite warm. Mesmen saying, I went out with a friend for the day cleaning windows with a pole, a clean water system. My neck was killing me by the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, I used the traditional method. As you see my ladders up here. I climb those ladders and clean them the old traditional way. Spark and needing the windows done. So Rosie asking, would you date someone in a wheelchair? That must be before I said. I've only just seen this, Rosie. But yes, yeah, no problem dating somebody with a wheelchair in a wheelchair at all. It's a completely non-thing for me. That wouldn't be like an issue at all. I think if somebody couldn't feel my touch, say from important areas, like, then that, you know, there had to be some level of being able to have some physical connection between us. That's important to me, physical connection as well as an emotional connection. Those are things that are important to me. But yeah, wheelchair means nothing at all. Mesmer saying Stern, I'm not going to read that. Personality is key, says Sparker, absolutely. So Sue's saying, I often get told I look 10 years younger than I am. So what? You look 11, because I'm pretty sure you're 21, aren't you, Sue? I'm active and look after myself, so age is definitely just a number, Molly. Exactly. I mean, I've met people who look like really. Do you know what? There was actually a really funny skit. I don't know what the comedian's name is, but he's really brutal with his crowd work. And there was this young woman in the crowd who I think she said her age. He asked her how old she was. She was 20 something, like early 20s. She looked like she was way younger than that. And he's like, "Is this your man?" And she's like, "Yeah, this is my man." He's like, "Dude, you're wrong, aren't you?" I've got the crowd going, and he's like, "How long have you guys been dating?" He's like, X amount of years, like it's been a few years. And he's like, "How old did she look then?" Like 11. And she's like, oh, it's killing me. Oh dear. I'll have to find it, maybe put in a link in the post or something like that. It was so hilarious. Oh, it just cracked me up. It really did. But I loved a really edgy humour like that, to be honest. It was so funny. Yeah, Sparker says exactly. So my missus saying was great. So I think that's the thing. I think you're young at heart, Sparker, but your body just doesn't feel like it, innit? Abassi saying I'm old enough. So that means Abassi is probably. I'm gonna guess Abassi is 7 years old because he's got 7 in his hand. No, I'm joking. I reckon Abassi is probably late teens. Maybe 19. Let's go with that. Am I closer, Bassi? We've got second Sienna in. We're all good. Second Sienna, I hope you're well. Bassi saying, I'm as respectful as hell. Rosie saying, I can answer how to tell who's a woman. They have balloons. I mean, that's a good sign, isn't it? Rosie saying, Bassi, I don't just want someone respectful. I want someone who's nice and honest and has a funny personality. That's nice to look for. What on earth is that second channel doing? Right, Bassi saying, I'm not nice or funny, so that's a problem. Oh well. I don't know, Bassi. I'm going to give you props here. Sometimes you're quite funny. No, it's not Jimmy Carr. It's another chap. I don't know his name. Yeah, he's much rougher looking. He's proper like Larry kind of guy. It's the best way to describe him. I'll figure it out. Yeah, you're getting modded, Sienna, quite a lot. That's the second Sienna for everyone else. She's here, but she's getting worried. And it's a good morning from Gracie. Good morning, Gracie. Hope you're getting to sleep soon. I will be, I'm sure. I'm still wide awake at the moment, to be fair. There's a lot of time to come down from a day like I've had today. Good evening, Real. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Rosie's saying, and someone who's aged 32 to 45. What? Sorry, Rosie. I got the. What's the and about? Hold on. So basically, I would date Scarlett Johansson, and Rosie's saying, basically, I would too. I wouldn't actually. I don't find her like. I don't find her physically that attractive, but also like from her interviews and stuff and the way she talks and whatnot, I'm not a fan in that way, if you see what I mean. No. She's not warm enough for me, for want of a better way. Still wide awake, says Gracie, fair enough. But what's this, and someone who's aged 32 to 45 as I'm 33? I don't know what you were talking about there, Rosie, sorry. I got lost on that one. Basically saying, oh Lord have mercy, I'm in my 20s. I'm not 32 to 45. Oh, I wasn't far off then. Bassie's in his 20s. Oh, we got disconnected. Oh, we're back again. So Sparker saying, doesn't sound like an impossible request. What's impossible? Wait. So have I missed something? Oh, I see. So basically, Rosie was saying that she wants someone who's nice, honest, and has a funny personality. And then goes on to say, and someone aged 32 to 45. I see. Doesn't sound like an impossible request. No, it's not that far off, to be fair. Rosie's saying, yay, get in there. I don't ever have to date a Bassie. Oh, dear me. You might have to give me a go, though. I'm pretty sure I fall into all that criteria, Rosie. I jest. You don't want to play it like me, do you? Oh dear. I do get about when I start to. Do you know what? So I hear tell that the top 20% of like attractive people on the Tinder app get most of the swipes. And now I don't think that's a hard and fast rule. I think there's probably like a sliding scale of like you know, some sort of curve. I reckon I'm close to that somewhere, because I get plenty of matches, and albeit most of them don't turn into anything at all, either because I'm not into the person or they do the whole like I'm matching thing and they're obviously not into me for whatever reason. But I do find that I'm fairly successful on it. Which must mean that I'm pretty high up there. And I mean, I'll take that ego boost every time. You've got to take them where you can get them. Do you know what I mean? I'll take it. What are you nervous about, Gracie? Bassie's saying, Rosie, if you were alone on a desert island, would you... Oh, Bassie. Really? Real saying, I don't like the idea of modern dating, and it's called polyamory, not polygamy. That's two different things. Probably need to get your thesaurus out on those. Or your dictionary, I should say. Actually, that's what I mean. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, so polyamory is a bit different to polygamy. Yeah, this new polyamory thing. And I know a few people who are that. I respect it. And as long as you're open about it, total respect for that. That's, again, somebody else's prerogative and how they want to date. And I have full respect for that, and admiration for the people who will be upfront about their dating style. I do not have any admiration for the people who want to sleep around and won't tell their partner. And I think that's like, you know, but I'm definitely that kind of person who, once I'm with somebody, I very quickly want to have that conversation about exclusivity, and I expect it to be pretty sort of solid. I'm open to some experimentation, bringing somebody else in if they wanted to do that, and yeah, that's a thing that I'd be willing to explore, I guess would be the want of a better word. But it's not something that's required for me in a relationship. Like, I'm just, you know, in that side of things, I'm quite open with a lot of things, but there's not a lot of requirements other than there to be like, a lot of connection realistically. And I do want to have a, like, I'm not looking for open relationships where people can just go off and sleep with whoever, or polyamory where we can have other partners. Polyamory definitely is not a thing for me at all. Um, yeah, I want that to be the emotional connection just with me and that person. So yeah, I was saying, I think my one thing, what happened if we broke up, it would be weird. I can't speak to Spark or Ellie. Why would you not be able to speak to them? That'd be crazy. But no, I get you, Rosie. Let's keep it platonic. Yeah, that's all good with me. Polygamy. Is that a common thing now? I mean, to be honest, polygamy has been around a long time and is probably common in some places, but it's very different to polyamory. Dating apps is polygamy. No, that's not true, Will. That's I mean, so I have been known to date a couple of women very closely to each other, or even slight overlap on the first dates and second dates and things. I generally don't go very long on that. I generally make my choice pretty quick. But that's the one thing about dating apps I don't really like, is that it's like buses, and you kind of wait a while for someone to come along, and then eventually probably two or three come along at the same time, and you don't really want to shut off options when you don't know where you stand with anyone. So then you have to kind of explore everything. It's a bit of a mucky situation, but also everybody is sort of open to that. I'm fully aware that the women that I go on these dates with are currently or have recently been on dates with other people. I mean, I was shown enough times from different people, like their WhatsApp, where they've been chatting to the other people that they've dated, even. Because I get into those conversations, I get deep into this stuff, and they're like talking to me about it, and then we'll be like, oh, look, see this guy that I went on a date last week with, look what he said, and I'm like, oh, blow me, and we get into that. And I mean, I get all the dirt, honestly, all the dirt comes my way, because I'm Mr. Open and Friendly, and I think that goes a long way. And I'm also fascinated with this stuff. You know me, I talk about this stuff and think about it all the time, because people fascinate me. They really do. People fascinate the hell out of me, and yeah, I just want to be able to understand people better. If I saying women in their 30s need someone my age, I can teach them a thing or two. I don't mean how to make pizza from scratch. I assume you mean how to make a sandwich then, which, yeah, I mean, important stuff. That you got to make the sandwich as well. Exams tomorrow morning. Well, get to sleep. Great. See, get to sleep and do your exams well. Good luck with them. I know you'll do really well. I would rather date a coconut, says Rosie. You go for it. I shall find you. Sainsbury's sell them. I'll find you a nice one. If I say, if we're on a desert island, who's going to stop me? Oh, what's this? Is this? So this is a bit of back and forth between Abassi and Rosie. Abassi's still trying to talk about Rosie dating him. I see. Wide awake proceeds to yawn. I love your sense of humour, Rosie. Yeah. Spock said, oh my God, one partner terrifies the life out of me, but being ganged up on, no, sorry. What are you talking about? You wouldn't want a dozen women to just basically moan at you all day long, Sparker? You're missing out, my man. You're missing out. I joke. Ah, dear. I look like a gay hairstylist, apparently. Do I? Do you want, you can come over. I'll cut your hair for you. No problems. Rosie's saying, Rosie's study then. No, she needs to go to sleep. If she's got them in the morning, she always needs to be asleep. We're all saying that wasn't a dig at you, particularly Molly. That's just my opinion. Sorry, Will, I missed what you said. Let me just check. What's Will said? Dating apps is polygamy. I mean, I didn't take it as a dig. I'm just assuming, do you mean like polyamory? That's what I'm saying. Because have you got your terms mixed up? But if not, you need to explain it a bit more, Will. Explain to me what you mean when you say that. Because, yeah, I'm not that keen on the way dating apps work, to be fair. But I'm not entirely sure I could come up with a better way for it to happen, to be honest. Yeah, and obviously the new apps they keep making, because they keep coming up with new ones, and the ideas are always to try to find a way to get around some of the nasty human behaviour on there. So you have the thing where, like, the men are swiping right on pretty much anything that moves because they don't get any likes, and to get any likes you have to just kind of accept everybody and pray. The women are very selective, but have to deal with all of these likes and matches that they just, and all the messages. I mean, when they start having apps where you can like push through messages, like to the people who haven't even matched with you, and so they're getting unsolicited messages, like that's problematic. And it feels like, okay, that gives some guys an advantage, which fair, if you want to pay for an advantage, fine, but that's kind of, that's tough to get around for the, oh, excuse me. Ooh. That's tough to get my mind around in terms of these poor women who get like unsolicited messages and have to wash through so many like profiles, and it does get exhausting having to go through profiles. So I don't do a lot of the like explorative swiping. I do a little bit of that sometimes, but not really a lot. Most of the time, I just wait for somebody to like me, and I paid for the membership so I could see when someone liked me. Then I'd just look at the profiles of people who like me, and then like them back if I like them. It was just much simpler. I will be honest. Let them do all the looking for it, and I'll just be a little bit lazy with it. It was basically my fault, because me swiping on them isn't really going to help me necessarily get the swipe back. So I was like, yeah, I'll just basically wait for that. So that seems to have worked out so far, and I'll just continue to do that probably if I need to. For now, though, my profile has been paused, and I'm not on display because I'm like, I don't really need to be working on any more dates right now. Right, so okay, I've been studying music. What's your perspective on psychedelics? Crack on. So my thought on drugs is this: if you want to do something like that and it's only affecting you, you go ahead and you experiment, you do what you want to do, you live your life. You don't want to be doing any people. That's the minutes of problems. So like, I have an issue with, like, I don't have a problem with someone smoking or vaping. They're doing it at home, crack on. If you're going to do it sitting next to me at a park bench and I'm trying to enjoy the fresh air and I've got a cloud of vape coming across me, have a bit more respect, could you? Don't take, like, my choice to sit there has now been removed. This is why I liked the smoking ban, where you couldn't smoke in public anymore, in public places, because like I'd have like be enjoying my time somewhere out and about with friends. Someone comes in, decides that they want to smoke, and suddenly I've now got to make a choice. Do I leave, or do I accept that my lungs are going to get damaged and I might end up with some form of cancer? And I'm like, that's not a very nice choice, because basically my choice is I now need to leave, and it's not fair at all. And not to mention, it's just really not nice as well. It's not a nice smell. It makes me like not be able to breathe very well. So I was like, this is not cool, because that choice of me being able to enjoy my time in this place without needing to have a health hazard has been taken away from me, that, and by somebody else external to me. That is not cool. That's never cool, taking somebody else's choices away from them. That's like me wanting to have a drink and somebody spiking my drink, essentially. I think we can all agree that if I've ordered a Coke and somebody slips in some like vodka or something into my Coke, spiking my drink, that is bang out of order, right? And shouldn't be done. But then if I said, well, what if I was sitting there enjoying myself and somebody just surreptitiously stuck some cancer in my lungs, like, smoking next to me, basically. It's the same thing. That choice is getting taken away from me, and the only real difference is that it's more obviously it's happening. I can leave, and it's like me having seen someone spike the drink and I have the option not to drink it, but then I've got to throw my drink away and buy a new one. I've been affected still. So both things are still not cool, and I see it like that. So psychedelics, fine. Do it in a safe environment where you're not going to affect anyone else. You crack on, do you? But don't do it in a dangerous way. Don't do it where you're going to cause harm to others. Yeah, you just got to be safe with these things. Grace saying, "Stop making me yawn. I'm wide awake." Gracie. That's an interesting question. It's obviously supposed to be a little bit of a. I'm going to unmod this by Balaclava Boy saying, "Do you prefer pink or brown nips?" Interestingly, I prefer pink, but I'm fine with both. But yeah, there you go. Interesting question. Yeah, it's just spaces. Just spaces. It's easy. You just put a few spaces in. Where am I from? Says Harry the Cat. I'm from the UK. What about you, Harry? There's loads of blank stuff coming up now. Let's stop that. That's spammy. I will time you out. Oh my lord! What have you guys done to my chat? I'm going to scroll down. Well, I hope I don't miss anything. Ibas saying he's a prolific gambler, but I don't lose. I have net profit. Well, it's not really a problem then, is it? There's definitely some professional gamblers out there. There's like people who go around the slot machines, and they know the signs of when they're ready to pay out, and they can sort of test it and know, or they'll sort of watch when someone else has fed the machine a long time, and then they know the signs, and they'll kind of like do their rounds. I've seen people like that. And then there's people who like obviously do a certain amount of sports betting and they know how to bet properly, and you know, card counters at casinos and stuff. There's ways to do it. Poker is technically gambling, but I mean there's a lot of skill in that, especially if you're playing like in cash games and stuff. I'm pretty good at live cash game poker because I'm good at reading people, and yeah, that goes a long way. Hey, you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, eh, Rosie? You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. That is Kenny Rogers, isn't it? I might be wrong. Know when to walk away, know when to run, but you never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. There you go. You got me singing a bit. Used to love that song. Spark saying, yeah, gambling is not cool in my humble opinion. It's not cool, to be honest. I mean, well, so cool is a relative term. Like I don't think fast cars that guzzle fuel is cool because it's destroying the environment. However, they are seen as cool and they do look cool. And gambling is not cool. It destroys lives. However, poker is obviously seen as cool, and yeah, it can be cool. But generally speaking, if your gambling is out of control, where you're gambling money that you can't afford to lose, it's not really about whether you're winning or losing. Gambling's more like for instance, I'll buy a scratch card at the shop. I'm not breaking any banks on it. I think overall I'm probably down money. The statistics probably say that. But when I spend a couple of quid on a scratch card, I don't really notice it. It's part of the shop that I've just bought, like the bit of shopping I bought, and I might have paid, you know, 9 instead of 7 quid. Well, I don't know. Wherever I've spent, I've spent a little bit more. I don't really notice it. But then when I win like 20 quid or whatever, I notice that and I'm like, hey, and it's like it's a bit of like a cheer up. And I like that feeling of the potential of just being able to win like a load of money, and it's worth that little bit of payment. But I don't go off doing that lots, but I do it enough to be like, yeah, it's nice. But if I was down there like basically on a daily basis throwing 50 quid away, 50 quid for it, and I couldn't afford that would literally bankrupt me 30 quid. That would be a problem. And it's whether or not you can maintain your gambling where you never bet more than you can afford. Because let's face it, you have a choice. You could go out, you could spend your money on booze to drink at home. You could spend your money on loads of like, I don't know, like Netflix and Prime and all the TV sort of that you want to watch and all the movies. You could spend it going out to the cinema even, right? You could spend it on dates. I mean, I kid you not, that today I've spent money on dates. Now I saved money not having to go to London. That would have cost me like 20 odd quid just for the ticket alone down there. But I've spent out money on flowers. I've spent money out on drinks and then some food later on. So I've spent probably close to £100 today. Now, if instead of dating, I want you to say, okay, once in a blue moon, spend that amount on gambling instead, because I found that more fun than dating, not really a problem. But if I start spending more than I can afford, that's when it's a problem. And I think this is the thing. There's plenty of people out there who actually gamble as a real problem, and that's when it's bad. Abassi saying, I mess with roulette, that has the best odds. Oh, definitely not. Abassi, you're just a funny one. Oh, Sparker prefers the brown. Fair play. Fair play. Yeah, do you remember, I used to go to the casinos when I was younger. When I was at uni, I went a fair bit down at Brighton. Like a friend took me down. I remember the first time I went, and I did do the roulette table at first. It was just a bit of fun. We went down. I think I had basically, I had 50 quid, and I was like, I'm going to start with this. So I did, and I basically bet a little bit. No, I didn't. No, sorry, no, it was 100. That's it. No, I started with 100. Sorry, that was it. And basically, I started off just betting random stuff on this roulette table, not really knowing what I was doing, and I kind of like I was doing like with red and black, and I was doing some of the other outside bets. I didn't do any of the numbers because I didn't feel like there was like good odds there. And I was kind of up a little bit, down a little bit, and I was getting after a while I just got a bit bored. I was like, this is a bit boring. Like, I'm not sure about this. And I was like, I think I've had enough of this. But I felt very unsatisfied. So I was like, do you know, because I'd just been betting like say £5 a time or whatever, because that was like the minimum bet or whatever. And sometimes like I think if I hadn't won for a while, I'd put like a slightly bigger bet on like 10 quid or something, and then I was about even. And I remember I think I like basically I just took my I took my my 100 quid that I had in chips, and I just went, never mind, and I just stacked it all on the third column. So that's basically the numbers 3, 6, 9, 12, like that, all the way up to whatever number, and yeah, 36. And then basically they spin the wheel, and 3 comes out, and I win, and suddenly I've got 300 quid sitting in front. I was like, holy! So I was well on a high, and I just picked up my chips, stuffed them in my. I had cargo trousers on. I shoved them into the big cargo pocket, and I was just off. I was like, well, that'll do. And I was a right high, and there was a few of us. We'd gone as a group. One of our friends was like a member, and he was able to get guests in, so he got me and a few other guys in. And I went over to the guy who got us in. I was like, dude, I was telling him about it, and he was sitting there playing blackjack, and I was on such a high, and we were chatting, and he was like, "Oh, that's really cool, dude. Like, nice one." And he's like, "You're going to sit down and play with me?" I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll have a little game." So, and I didn't really know how to do it at this point. So I sort of watched him for a second, saw how it worked. I was like, okay, I get it. So I stuck a min bet on, but it was like a £5 minimum table. I put £5 on, and I started playing. And he was doing this thing where basically if he lost, he would double up until he won, and then he'd go back to a £5 bet. And you know, it's a risky strategy because you can lose that many times already. You can lose a lot of money. But I think he had this idea that he would only go to a certain amount, and then he would stop, and he'd go back to a £5 bet anyway. And I sat there just doing minimum bet, like for like about, I don't know how long it was, whether it's 10 minutes or half an hour. But again, like sometimes I put it up to £10, sometimes I I did, and again I got a bit bored of it. But you know, we were sitting there, we were chatting, it was all right. But then I was like, this is unsatisfying, dude. And he's like, well, you don't have to play. I said, no, do you know what I'm going to do? I grabbed out all my chips, and the table max was 250 quid. So I just grabbed out as many chips as was 250, and I just stacked that down. And he's like, what are you doing? And I went, I've just won it on there. If I lose it, it doesn't matter. I just want to fire it away and see what happens. They did it out, and I hit blackjack. And I was like, what? I was like over the moon. And then they had to, so it pays out basically, instead of just doubling it, they pay out an extra half because it's the blackjack. And I was like, oh, I've won loads. I was like, that is mad. He's like, oh my God, we're both over the moon. He was like, I can't believe you've done that. I was like, I don't know what I've done. And I took the chips back and just like, and I was like, no, I'm done. That's it. I'm not betting anything more today. And I hung around for about half an hour after that. But it was interesting because after I did that, the guy who was supervising the table was eyeballing me, and he started like talking in his walkie-talkie, and then the people, and he was talking, and I could tell because body language stuff. He was talking to the people behind the cash desk, and the big boss there was basically like then looking at his computer screen, and we kind of got a glimpse. They were looking at different profiles. Now, in hindsight, having learnt about this kind of thing, what I'd done was behaved exactly like a card counter, doing low bets until I thought the count was right, and then gone smack a massive bet. But then I should have stayed massive betting, so I didn't quite fit the profile, but I'd done random enough stuff, and because I'd hit a big one, they were like, we better check to see if he's a known card counter. But then because I didn't continue, it was obvious that I probably wasn't. And I think just from my overall kind of like exuberance and the fact that I was obviously just like having an absolute laugh of it, I think they realised that I wasn't. But there was eyes on me for a while, and it was quite an interesting night. Yeah, that was a fun one. I'm not saying every time I went to the casino I won, but yeah. Oh, what's this? What did you say? Ah, it is Kenny Rogers. Thank you, Rosie. Yeah, there you go. I know you got. I know you got a perfect credit score. Your voice, accent, well kept background, shirt, hair. I mean, I'm gonna be. I've been on a date today, which is why I look so smart. But I actually do have a really. I don't have perfect, but I have a really good credit score, which I should not have, but I do. See, that's bad, Abassi. You shouldn't be gambling the money for your bills. We gamble every time we cross the road or eat at McDonald's. You're definitely gambling. You're definitely rolling the dice when you eat at McDonald's. I could tell you some stories about the McDonald's in this area. They're from decades ago, but I've got some grim stories about that if you want to hear them. I tell you, we're getting into all my old stories today. Nice chat, bro. I'm ready to Donna. I think that's a mistype to my. Oh, donate my sperm to you. We do need some sperm for the channel. Donate away. I've shown you a modded chat because that's funny. Dear. What are you saying? I'm a god's sense in blackjack. What does that mean? That's a cool memory, but thank you, Sparker. Yeah, it's one of my more fun time memories with the lads from uni. I mean, we did a lot of like home game poker, just like a few lads getting together playing, like, you know, just in the dorms and stuff. It was a very fun sort of poker time. Noah likes a bit of poker. He's found a home game thing that he's been interested in, and he's been joining. So he has said that if I'm interested, I could join him, and I might do. I might join him for one of the games because it sounds like an interesting night. I'm more there for the social these days. I like a cash game where I can chat to the guys and there's a bit of a laugh and it's a bit of a loose play and I can have some fun with it. I don't want to sit there just grinding it away. I can definitely sit there and work out the odds and know what I should and shouldn't do with what hands, and I wouldn't be the best at that at the table, but I can also read people quite well. I prefer to lean on the reading of people, and you know, I use a bit of both sort of skills, but in the end, I like to read the player. I see what they're thinking that they're doing, and if they're the kind that are just following the rules, or if they buck the trend and stuff, and whether they play aggressive and stuff, and like they're picking their spots, and I can always catch a person when they've picked their spot where they think they're going to play a little wild one. I love that, catching people out. The old hero call when they don't expect it, like. Rosie's saying, won't comment on my credit score. Oh, you're amazing at blackjack. I see. Well, I'll give you a game sometime, Rosie. I don't know what we'll play for, but we can figure something. Oh, you don't know the Bailey and Rosie language? No, I don't. You will have to teach me. Weirdly, Rosie, blackjack is one of the few gambling games I would have a play at. Yeah, I think like a bit of like home game blackjack can be fun. Where you don't actually play against the dealer, but you play against each other. So you each basically like so I've done that before. Where I used to do it when I was younger. I haven't done that for years, but when I was younger, we used to do that. I used to play with friends, and it was like, so there's no dealer you're playing against. You're just playing against each other. And you have to take it in turns, just like you would with any game where one person's going to go first before, and then that rotates around the game. and you can play for any old thing really. You put something up, it doesn't really matter, and it's not normally for anything big. We did get wild at university. So there was a couple of guys who were really into gambling, and it'd be a fun night. And so, for instance, like we'd do a few sort of like very small tournament style games where we'd play with very few chips. Like just we'd play with matchsticks most of the time because we'd be able to play at the pub if we were playing with matchsticks because you couldn't play for cash, but you could just have a fun game, and then we just keep the money under the table type thing. Um, but we'd play in the dorm, and we'd play with very short stacks. But we would go around and do the tournament style thing, and we'd usually have a thing where like maybe there was like if there was like say six or of us or something playing, we'd have like everyone putting in say a fiver, the winner would get 20 and the runner up would get 10, and then job done. And so, and we'd have maybe like 6 games in the evening of that or whatever. But sometimes we'd up the ante and everyone put in a bit more money. And it just depended on what people were feeling like. If a few people had lost money, they were the type to want to up it because they wanted to try to win back. There was a few that were the type to not really want to up it unless they'd already won some, because then they felt secure enough that if they lost it, it's only money they've won. And essentially, we would any time we'd start one up, we'd just see if everyone's happy with this, with the buy-in or whether we'd up it. But every now and then, at the end of the night, someone would be really unsatisfied with their performance in it or whatever, and we'd start cutting cards for like money. And so it'd be like highest card wins, cut the deck, and it'd be like, and we'd start off for like someone's like, I'll cut your deck for a fiver. Then I was like, okay, yeah, go for it, and you cut it. And I remember one time, it got mad. It got real mad because it would used to like it was like some of them were degenerate basically. It's the only way to call this. And I remember this one time, this particularly bad chap who he would just be horrific at this. He was down a fair bit for the night, and I was up a little bit. I was not up the most. I think there was a couple of guys who were well up more than me, but they weren't the type to be real gamblers. And I'd been having a lot of fun, and I'd probably been down and up a bit. And I think I was up by a small amount. And he was like, "I'll cut your deck for like," and I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's go for it." I was having a bit of fun, and we cut the deck, and I win. And he's like, "Oh, double or nothing." I said, "Yeah, sure, sure." So we cut it again, and now he owes me double. And he's like, "Oh, I'll do it for like double or nothing again, like you know." And I was like, "Are you sure? Because that's you're gonna owe me 20 quid." And he's like, "Yeah, we'll do it." So I was like, "Okay." So we cut again. I win again, and he's like getting fuming, and he's like, "Oh, we do it again. We do it again." I'm like, "Dude, come on, calm down." He's like, "No, we do it again." I'm like, all right. So what, 20 quid this time? He's like, yeah, double or nothing. I was like, okay. So we do it again, and I win again, and he's like fuming, and he's going, right. He's going, let's do this one for 50 quid then. I'm like, come on, dude, you only owe me 40 quid. He's like, no, let's do it for 50 quid. I was like, oh, dude, honestly, just control yourself. I'm not doing it. He's like, no, come on, you've got to give me a chance to win it back. And I'm like, dude, if you don't win this day, you're going to be so annoyed. He's like, oh, just do it. I was like, okay. So we end up cutting the deck for 50 quid, and I still won. And then he's like, let's do it again, but just for 50 quid again. And I was like, all right, we'll just do another £50 one. And then he won that one, and he's back down to owe me 40. But then he kept wanting to do it, and in the end, I was basically, I think it was up 140 quid on him, and he's like, look, one time 100 quid. I was like, no way, dude, no way. And he's like, no, let's do it. And I didn't let him do it. I said, no way, this is all ridiculous. Let's just call it here. If I keep this going, you're either going to owe me nothing, which will be the most pointless run of this of ever, or you're going to end up owing me just ridiculous amounts. It's just not like, I don't know where you think your stop is on this, but it's not. We're not finding out. And so we left it there, and he had to like basically give me some like money the next day. But I was just like, dude, but he was like wanting to cut deck with me for 100 quid a time. I was like, that is ridiculous. That's stupid. I was like, what on earth? So yeah, I mean, there were some guys at uni. They were proper degenerates for sure, which was mad. I mean, they'd bet on a lot of stuff. Uh, no, I was talking about reading people of poker. To be honest, veiled bookie. But then we got onto like other stuff around casino and stuff when I was talking about blackjack. But yeah, although when I was younger we just called it 21 because we were playing it at home on our own sort of thing. Am I gay? Says Honey Parsnips. No, I'm not. I'm straight. I hate to disappoint, but yeah. Unfortunately, it is. I'm not available to the masculine members of the viewership out there. But the ladies, technically, I'm still available for a very limited time. Oh dear, I do jest. Nothing wrong with being gay. No, nothing at all. Some of the best people I know are indeed gay. So yeah, what you do and who you do it with, as long as it's consensual, is all good. Doesn't really change who you are as a person in terms of whether you're good or bad and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, not out of the closet yet. Do I look like I'm sitting inside of a closet? That's a weird thing to say. Dear me. No, I do find that fun when people come in and they're trying. I assume they must get a rise out of some people who were worried in their sexuality or something. I don't know. You're trying hard to persuade me, are you? I mean, you can try. I don't know that it'll do much good. So Spock saying, Rosie, what is that number? Yeah, that is a. We needed the commas so we can at least count commas. That's too many numbers to read. Let's have a little look. That's probably about millionaire, billionaire, trillion. Into ones I don't know. It's probably more than quadrillions in there. Indeed, Honey Parsnips, there is nothing wrong with being gay. Are you? Maybe that's why you come in. I do get quite a few gay men coming in asking me if I am, because I think they like a piece of this, to be fair. I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. Look at how handsome I am. Oh, dear. Oh, man. But no, yeah, I've definitely had a few admirers of the same sex. And yeah, I mean, it's an ego boost, I guess, but yeah. Is that why you like carpentry? Knock up closets. Actually, I'm good with the carpentry. If you have a little peek over here, you will see the table that I made all by myself that folds into very ingenious ways, and all of the woodwork you see behind me, including the closet, was made by me. So yes, I do like a bit of woodwork, to be fair. I can hear the fire literally doing a little bit of sparking behind me. But yeah, I've had a message from Patty. So where's my toy boy? What? I don't have one. I was a bit of a toy boy today though, because as I say, the lady I was on a date with, she is older than me, so technically makes me her toy boy, I suppose. Rosie's saying I've got some big wood on my hands. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, carving counts as woodwork, I would say. In fact, that's very impressive doing carving, to be honest. And let's just mod that person out. Boom, gone. Ape has been modded off the channel, don't worry. He's been hidden from channel. Yeah, it's not a nice word, is it? It has not happened yet. Honey Parsnips. Are you hoping to have it with me? Because you'll be disappointed. You'll be waiting a long time. Thank you, Sparker. Yeah, I should have done it a lot quicker though. I didn't see what was going on because I was gabbing again. But we get rid of it. It's fine. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't find any words offensive because I'm not easily offended. But I don't appreciate stuff like that, and we will get rid of it. But yeah, you won't find I actually get offended by much. I'm unoffendable, to be honest. There were times in my life where people coming in and saying nasty things. Like I don't think I've ever been upset by people like this honey parsnips who somehow really want me to be gay. But yeah, people say nasty things. Like it's interesting. We get people come and call me Silver Fox, which I have been called by some of the ladies that I date, and I like that. I like that. When I like that, but then some people come in, oh, you should dye it on your hairline, blah blah blah, forehead, nose, whatever, and they'll pick something. And there was a time in my life where I was like, that would sting a little bit or like knock my confidence. Well, we've got lots of mod now. Is this somebody else? Yeah, that person probably needs to be hidden from channel as well, just because I can't be able to deal with their mods. Job done. We're getting randoms in now. It's gone midnight, and we always get the randoms in with the stupidness. You're like honey parsnips. How about you tell me about yourself? Where are you from? You obviously want some attention. Let's have a conversation. I'm in the UK. What about you? Where are you from, I'm assuming man. Where are you from, my man? Because Rosie, who are you saying that you hope the pillow is warm tonight? What is that about? Wow. So we've got one person who keeps coming in with different accounts, I assume now, and they're just, oh no, honey parsnip is literally you only one that hasn't blocked me. Well, I'm trying to give you a chance, honey parsnips. I don't want to block you. So have a chat. You're probably bouncing between streams, trying to get a rise out of people because you want attention. You can have my attention. You can see I don't have a lot of people in right now, and I'm happy to have a chat with you. So say something nice. Tell me where you're from, what you like doing, and we will mod that person straight off the bat. They're gone. Yeah. We can have a nice conversation, basically, what I'm trying to say, honey parsnips. But I only give you so much patience before I decide that you're just too spammy and I don't like it. Mostly I don't like that you're spamming lots of stuff which is nonsense. I don't really mind you going on about this homosexual stuff. It's not really a problem to me. But if you want to talk about something better and maybe not do quite so much, we'll be good. Yeah, I think we will find out, Sparker. We will find out if they will rise to the challenge of a reasonable conversation or whether they will just give up. Hey, Rational Morality is in saying, hey, Cameron, how you doing? I'm good, Rational. I hope you're well. And we have someone saying, hello, my friend. Hello back. And if you already consider me your friend, that's really lovely of you. You look from London. I'm north of you by a little way. I'm in Bedfordshire, if you know it. Right, let's get rid of that person. Boom, boom, boom. Just got to keep modding. I'm pretty sure it's the same person, just keep coming in with different accounts, which is really sad, but oh well. And honey parsnip's still getting modded now. Just I think honey parsnips has failed to yeah, sorry honey parsnips, I'm literally I'm just bored of it now and you're just spamming a bit, so we're just going to hide you from the channel. I do apologize. I hope you feel better soon. And about to hit the sack. Long day, says Rational. Yeah, me too. I think it's time to call it. We've been about 2.5 hours on this one. It's been a good one, to be honest. It's been a good stream. I've enjoyed it. I've got a lot of chit chat out of the way, and we've touched on all the topics that I feel like we need to today. It has been lovely, everyone. Thank you to Rosie and Sparker and everybody else. But I say to you two, because you two have been fantastic tonight. I've loved talking to you both, actually. It's been really nice. As I say, Sparker is the champ, and Rosie is one of the most beautiful that we have. So yeah, thank you very much for both of you. I will see everybody hopefully tomorrow. Well, I say tomorrow, later today now, because we've obviously gone across the threshold of the day. But yeah, I'll see you for the next one, number 201. Love you all. Have fun.